Hi everyone, my name is Anushka Bajpai. I'm a strategy associate currently working with Accenture Strategy. I'm extremely delighted that Team Wings of Fire from SRCC has given me this opportunity to share my placement and corporate experience with my juniors. I really hope that this video will be able to benefit and add value to at least some of you. I'm really happy to share my experience on this platform. To begin with, I'll provide you a brief background about me. I did my bachelor's in economics from Hansraj College. I graduated in 2022 and I got placed from campus in Accenture. I'm currently working in the sustainability industry and it's been almost 1 year for me in the corporate world. To summarize my experience so far, I would say that I'm extremely happy to be working in an industry like sustainability because I think it is very fulfilling to do something which is also adding value to the world as well as to me, because I think it's the need of the hour that businesses realize that they need to deliver their services in a sustainable manner, and I'm happy to do my fair share of work in that direction and to add to that cause. So that is basically about my industry. Apart from that, I would say if I have to describe the consulting world, I would say consulting is a very, very big space. And I think as people in college, we just think it's something very glamorous and, it sounds very cool if you are in consulting, but it's a very demanding job. You have to handle a lot of pressure. There are the hours of work are not fixed, and you have to be prepared to handle all sorts of pressure. So there is not a one size fit for all schedule of how a corporate day looks like, because totally depends on your project and your client you're working with. So it has to be you have to be okay with that sort of pressure coming to you if you are entering the consulting domain specifically. Apart from that, I would say I'm still very new in terms of my exposure to the whole consulting domain, because I feel the more time you spend in organizations and industries, the more you understand the basics of it. So I would not try to say that I have a very in-depth knowledge about all these things and I'm an expert in telling about the corporate world, something like that. So this is just a summary of my experience so far, and I think the point you can keep in mind is that whenever you are applying for a company, you should look at the profile and you should actually see if that is the kind of work you would be okay with and it is something that really excites you or interests you, because at the end of the day you don't want to end in a company where you are just unhappy and you don't like the work you are doing, because I think that is something we don't realize while we are applying for companies. We don't do our share of research. This is something you can do right now, and I think it is a good practice because it also reduces the pressure from your end, because if you have a specific list of companies and a specific profile you are targeting at, I think it makes sense if you want to apply for those opportunities on campus or off campus as well, because I think at the end of the day you want to do something which you are actually interested about and not just do things for the sake of peer pressure. So I think the first priority should be to understand what you really want to do and to figure out ways to land in that domain. Apart from that, when it comes to placement preparation, I would say that a good practice is to create small peer groups. This is what I did when I was preparing for my placement. So me and my friends, we used to solve questions together and we used to discuss our approach, how each one of us solved that question, because I think it helps to understand what others are also thinking about while solving the same question, because it expands your learning horizon. Apart from that, one key advice I would give is don't try to focus on finishing a lot of case books. Don't try to just focus on the number of questions you're solving. Instead, I would say stick to maybe just 2 case books, but try to do justice to every question that is there in that book, because at the end of the day you are trying to brush your basics and to develop a basic understanding of the business world. So I think they are not trying to test you on how many questions you have solved, how many concepts you know, but they are more interested in knowing about what is your logical approach when you look at a problem. So I think that is the key, because a lot of us focus on trying to watch a lot of YouTube videos, finish this book, that book, but I think a good practice would be to stick to only some relevant study material and try to practice. Because one thing which a lot of my friends did during the placement process was we had a lot of mock interviews amongst ourselves. So it was basically like, it was mostly like an interview, but just that we were taking their interviews, and we used to actually give the same amount of time which is given in a normal interview to solve a question. And then after the interview was over, we used to discuss where you went wrong, what your body language was like, and other things which are also important when you are sitting in an interview. So I think that is also a good practice. And finally, I would like to say that focus on all aspects of the placement process. What I mean by this is that we focus so much on the interview preparation and on, just finalizing all the stuff which is in case books and everything, that we miss the essence, which is the CV making process. So CV is a very important thing, because the shortlist from any company is mostly going to come through your CV, and it's basically a summary about your experience so far. So I think it's very important, just do justice to whatever you are putting on your CV, because a lot of us try to just fill our CV with facts and with our achievements, but it's not bad to list down your achievements, but I think the key is to be honest about whatever you are putting on your CV, and be confident that if there is anything you are putting on your CV, you are able to answer a question related to that, because a lot of questions in any interview are asked basis your CV. So I think this is something which is in your hand, and you don't want to end up in a situation where you have just put something in your CV, and if someone asks you about it, you are not able to answer, because it is not a very good situation, because it gives a very bad impression to the interviewer that you have just made things up, and you don't want to do that. So in the end, I think that was pretty much what I would like to advise my juniors. I would like to leave you with a message, and I would like to say that this can be a very overwhelming phase, and you should not try to compare yourself with your peers, because there is a lot of pressure when you see your friends getting placed, and you just get rejections from various companies. It can be very, very mentally draining, and I would say don't take rejection or failure as a personal attack. Instead, try to learn from every setback, and try to make sure that when the next opportunity comes, you don't repeat that mistake, because it's not bad to fail, but it's bad to repeat your mistakes. So that is something I think would really benefit you all. Apart from that, I would also say that try to focus on your journey, because everyone is on their unique path. Don't try to do things just for the sake of because everyone is doing this, so I have to do this. You are on your own journey, and I think you should focus on your self-improvement and becoming a better version of yourself. So I think that's all, and I would like to wish all of you good luck for the placement process. And in case you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.